Hi guys, thanks for joining me. In today's video, I'm going over 5 pull-up mistakes that I made so you guys don't do the same. The purpose of this video is to highlight some of the mistakes that I have made in the past so you guys don't copy that and then you're able to progress faster and further than I ever did. So let's jump straight into the video. So number 1 is only focusing on the chin. A lot of people are just primarily focused on getting their chin over the bar. As long as they do that, the pull-up is great, the pull-up is fine. This is a mistake. A lot of people will go even further, and what they'll do is they'll actually change their chin or their neck position to be able to get up over the bar because they're trying to hit a certain rep count. This is also a mistake. What we need to do is we need to have a specific standard of what we're going to be going for, and we replicate that. Every single time we're doing pull-ups, we want to be reinforcing good form. If you're going to be constantly craning your neck to cheat reps, you're only going to be sacrificing your performance, your ability to learn good form, and the progress that you can make in your back training. So what you want to do is either set a standard of maybe going chest to bar or having a neutral neck where you do not change the position of your head, and then you make sure that your chin goes over the bar, but that sort of standard is fixed and you do not change. If you're not able to get your chin over that bar without moving your head position, then you don't count that rep. So what you want to do is stop focusing on your chin, set a standard for what your form should be, and continue doing that. At number 2, we're going to have rushing the reps. This is something that I was very common of, especially if I wanted to hit a certain rep count or that elusive kind of get that 20 rep set, that I would literally just jump up on the bar and I would just try and rush through the reps. The problem with this is you're actually forgetting what you're meant to be doing. By rushing through the reps, you're possibly not putting enough tension in the muscles. You're actually missing out on the purpose of what the pull-ups are meant to be, and you're more likely to cause injury. You're less in control, and it's very hard to actually keep track of what you're doing. Time under tension is a very important thing when trying to build muscle. So if you're someone who's just rushing through the reps, you're going to be missing out on that important thing, that ability to be able to create tension in the muscle and actually having that control, which is going to give you more strength and performance in the long run, but also reduce the risk of injury. So what I want you to do is stop rushing through the reps, be concise, have tension, be focused on every single rep, and actually follow that as opposed to just trying to get to a rep count as fast as you possibly can. At number 3, we have forgetting what the aim is. This is very common if, again, you're trying to hit a 20 rep goal, all of these different things where you're just jumping up on the bar and just trying to go through the motions. You don't want to forget what you are doing the pull-ups for. The pull-ups, especially if you're only doing calisthenics, are one of the best ways in which you can build your back muscles. So if you're just jumping on the bar, you're not creating tension in your back, you're not really focusing on pulling the arms, the elbows back and down, really focusing on trying to get those lats, those rhomboids, squeezing those shoulder blades, trying to create tension in your core everywhere in your body. Unless you're doing that, you're missing out on some of the capabilities that the pull-up can give you. What your primary focus should be is, how can I build as much strength as possible while using the pull-up? How can I maximize how much muscle I can build while doing the pull-up? Don't just think I'm just going to jump on the bar and hit a certain rep count because there's something magical about a certain rep number. What you want to be thinking is, how can I jump up on this bar and make this pull-up, each rep, this whole set, as efficient as possible? How can I make the performance, the form, how well I execute it as perfectly as possible? How can I reinforce that good movement pattern so it's something that I get very good at over the long term? How can I try and place more tension, not only in my back muscles, but through my whole entirety of my body to make my form right, to try and create as much tension, to try and build as much muscle as I possibly can? How can I increase these things and get what the pull-up can give me, get the most of it out? Focus on what the real purpose of what you're doing in this exercise, as opposed to just jumping on the bar and just doing pull-ups for the sake of it. So at number 4, we have cutting range of motion. This is very common, again, if people are ducking their chin up and trying to increase, because you can actually cut maybe 3 or 4 inches just by raising your neck instead of actually keeping it neutral, or maybe even going chest to bar, where that's a bit of a harder metric to cheat. Or for a lot of time, people actually won't go all the way down to the bottom and they're just trying to think, okay, I need to get 2 more reps. If I go all the way down to the bottom, it's going to be harder. You want to be making sure that you have a standard that you set yourself of what your range of motion is. The longer the range of motion, or the full range of motion, is going to be better than you doing half reps or quarter reps. You're going to be missing out on a lot of the proportion of the gains that you can actually gain. And also the other thing is, as well, is you want to be strong through the whole entirety of the range of motion or through the movement, as opposed to just being strong in certain portions. So making sure that you don't cut range of motion, making sure that you guys set a specific standard for yourself and you adhere to that. Don't cheat yourself. You're not going to be impressing anyone if suddenly you're able to do 17 pull-ups instead of 14, and the last 3 or 4 you were doing half a range of motion or sticking your chin into the bar. You're only cheating yourself. There's nothing magical about being able to do a 20 rep set if you got that 20 rep set by cheating yourself. Make sure that you set a standard, you do a full range of motion, and you'll be making more progress than if you cut range of motion. So at number 5 is not being progressive, but also regressive. So it's very common for people just to do the same work workout, to keep doing pull-ups, to keep doing the same workout, not being progressive when it comes to their pull-ups, whether that means going into weighted calisthenics, whether that means playing around with range of motion to make it deeper, to make it harder, changing with the width, changing with different variations of pull-ups, maybe moving to sort of more progressive calisthenics versions, just going up and just doing the same workout, the same number of pull-ups, hitting maybe the same number each time, not being progressive with adding weight or actually increasing volume. If you're not going to be progressive with your pull-ups, you're not going to get any further. You're not going to increase strength, you're not going to build muscle, you're not going to increase efficiency within the pull-up. But also not being afraid to be regressive. If you're someone that can't even do any, maybe you're someone that can't do more than 2, 3, or even 5, instead of just going up and just getting frustrated and just thinking, I'm just going to push through and try and do it, maybe even cutting range of motion, maybe just focusing on the chin. Some of these other things that we've talked about in the video, where you're just trying to increase your number of pull-ups, where actually that's not going to help you to solidify good form. That's not going to solidify your ability to be able to get better at pull-ups. You're only going to be cheating yourself. And just by focusing on a certain rep count, again, reps do not suddenly make you build muscle. Reps are an indicator to see if we're working in the right intensity, to give us an idea of how long our muscles are. There is time under tension. There's nothing magical about doing a 20 rep set. So don't just focus on a rep. Focus on, if you can't get enough of them, focus on maybe being progressive. So using stuff like negative pull-ups, maybe doing banded pull-ups, different things that you can do like that to be regressive with your pull-ups, which may feel like you're taking a step back, but actually you'll be building up a good foundation of those muscles, that movement that's actually going to allow you to go further. So this is very, very common with people that can't do it. They either just stop or they just try and push through and they can't actually get any further. If you found this video useful, give it a like. If you want more content like this, anything to do with calisthenics or fitness in general, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell so you get notified of whenever I upload. And if you have any questions or you have some mistakes that maybe you possibly have made, or more sort of general advice on how to improve your pull-ups, make sure you comment down below and I'll do my best to help you out. With that out of the way, guys, I'll see you in the next video.